All right, good morning, everyone. This is Sunday morning, August 4th, year 2024. And just quickly, we're going to just start out by showing you a weather map across the U.S. This is an advisory map. This is from the National Weather Service, weather.gov. As you can see here, we have across the western U.S., we have smoke advisories across Oregon, red flag warnings across Oregon and Idaho, and more of those in Wyoming, Utah, southern Nevada, and California, and also extreme fire danger. So there's still problems with fires out west. Here in the deep south across the Gulf Coast, we have heat advisory still in effect because of the high humidity and heat. The top story today, though, is Tropical Storm Debby, which is intensifying in the Gulf of Mexico right now. The center of the storm is right where my cursor is, about right here where the white hand is. And right here, let's click on the Tampa Bay Ruskin weather National Weather Service office, and you can see we have all along the west coast of Florida from Lee County, Fort Myers, all the way up to basically what county is that? That's Levy County. There is tropical storm wind warnings in effect, and it includes the entire county. And also they're including tropical storm watches for some inland counties as well, like Hardy County. I forgot the name of this county. Oh, this is inland Manatee County. Polk County's under a tropical storm warning, a watch, I mean. Let's see, that's Lake County. Part of eastern Lake County is under a tropical storm watch, while the western part of Lake County is under a warning. Same thing with Alachua and Marion County. The western half of both of those counties is under a tropical storm warning, while the eastern half, including Gainesville and Ocala, under a watch. So it's right along the I-75 corridor. Basically, if you go west of 75, you're under a warning. East of 75, you're under a watch. So just a slight shift in the track of Debby could cause tropical storm conditions to affect the entire cities of Gainesville and Ocala. So as of right now, it's like a 50-50. So we're actually in a good position right now. But let me go over to the satellite loop now of Tropical Storm Debby. And as you can see, let me show you here real quick what we got. Yeah, so here we go. The center of circulation is right in here somewhere where I drew this circle. And as you can see, you see all this bubbling right here and right here. That is thunderstorm activity really starting to blow up around the center of circulation. Now, as you'll notice out here to the west, look how dry it is out here. All fair weather clouds. This is dry air. So dry air is trying to be entrained in like this into the circulation. But if Debby can develop a core, like a tight core, like an eye-like feature, and this convection kind of builds around the eye, like around the center like this, and that could happen up in this area of the northeastern Gulf, it could get quite a bit stronger and it could fight off the dry air. So let me remove this. Okay. So what we're seeing right here, unlike yesterday, this thing has a much smaller, Debby has a much smaller circulation area. Yesterday, there was a bunch of rain bands coming up into Florida like this, coming across the state. In fact, my sister and her husband and daughter, they were doing like an activity over in Lake Weir, and they said a big storm came in quickly in a blinding rain while they were on the lake. And that's just what happened in Gainesville yesterday, too. We had this quick band come through. Doesn't look like that's going to be happening so much today, but it might happen overnight tonight, and definitely during the day tomorrow. There's going to be heavy rain bands coming up through Tampa, Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, and excuse me, got allergies this morning, and places to the west, especially like Williston, Chiefland, Cross City. There's going to be a lot of heavy tropical storm force winds in the rain bands coming through those areas. And then storm surge is going to be a big problem along let's see, let me get my telestration going back again. There's going to be a big problem with storm surge right along this coastline right here, going from basically Cedar Key up to Keaton Beach. That whole area is probably, I would say, 4 to 6 feet of surge coming in there. That's what I remember seeing on the map yesterday. Anyway, let me show you also some of the computer models from Tropical Tidbits, what they're showing here. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. So yeah, it's gonna be a mess there in some of these areas. Let's see, I need to get back here, share my screen again. And let's see what we got. We need to get back on to the forecast models. I want to get an idea. Let's see what the GFS is showing. So we can look at the GFS right here. Let me put that into motion after I get to the, there we go. That's what I want to see there. Okay, it's showing 1,003 millibars right now, which is pretty close to accurate. I think it's getting lower than that. So we move forward a few more hours and it's showing the pressure drop down to 998 millibars, about 100 miles west of Tampa. Do one more, it's really strengthening. You can see those isobars, the lines close together, shows that it's strengthening as it's heading towards the Appalachia Bay area. And look at this, drops down to 988 as it's approaching the Carabel Panacea area, and really deepens as it gets near landfall just southeast of Tallahassee. So if you live in Tallahassee, oh, it shows it going right over Tallahassee now. Honestly, they're going to probably have to issue hurricane warnings for Tallahassee, Leon County, because it shows the circulation passing just east of Tallahassee or just right over. But watch what the GFS does. It does something crazy. Shows Debby moving inland slowly, turning northeast over Lowndes County, Georgia, and vicinity. And then it heads east a little bit, goes towards like Brunswick, Waycross, just kind of sits out there. Oh, goes off the coast near Kingsland, and then re-enters the coast near Savannah. Basically, what it's seeing, you see these lines out here over the Atlantic. That's the Bermuda Azores High, and what the model is depicting is this gets stronger and pushes Debby west back into Georgia. And watch where Debby goes. Goes right across Cordell area, Tifton, keeps going west towards Albany and Phoenix City, Alabama, goes down across Eufaula, Montgomery, then kind of falls apart. The remnant circulation falls apart, but the high pressure over to the west of it pushes it south into the Gulf again, and it tries to get itself back organized again. And look what happens. It re-strengthens south of Panama City, heads east across the Gulf, and makes a second landfall in the same area, and then goes across Beaufort, Savannah, and Charleston, and then up Wilmington, North Carolina. I don't think it's going to do that, but it's possible. Now let's look at one more model before I close this video. Let's look at the HAFSA model. This is a more zoomed in. And let's see, let's just go back a little bit. This is too far in advance. This is this morning. You can see that it shows that initializing at 996 millibars, which is a mid-grade tropical storm pressure. Let's go zoom out. I mean, let's push it forward a little bit. Okay, it's starting to intensify off of Sarasota by about 100 miles offshore. Drops down to 991 off of Tampa. It's still dropping, 986, 989. And go back to that. Let me go back to that last frame. You can see how it looks very disorganized here. There's probably dry air being pulled in because it's all the heavy weather is off to the east and northeast. But that is later on. That's early tomorrow morning. But watch this, during the day tomorrow as it's creeping north in the Northeast Gulf, pressure drops down to 986. Let me get some telestration going on here. So yeah, you can see that's really dropping right there, 986. And okay, put this back into motion here. Look at that. It is just really dropping down to 984 as it approaches Carabel. Look at this model shows a landfall around Carabel. If that happens, that means Tallahassee is going to definitely experience hurricane force wind gust. And then you got places like Live Oak and Madison and then Perry off here to the east. They're going to get some of the worst weather from it, unfortunately. And so looking forward with this model, kind of just sits over South Georgia and then drifts south. So we're going to get a bunch of rain here in the southeast, like northeast Florida, southeast Georgia, southern South Carolina, and maybe even Alabama gets in on some of the rain. But yeah, it shows it going kind of in loops across Georgia and South Carolina, even days after landfall. So this is going to be a very, very interesting storm. And hopefully it doesn't bring 25 inches of rain, because that's going to cause some major problems for people living along near some of our rivers and creeks and streams. Anyway, hope you have a good Sunday, and we will talk again later on. Anyway, Let's see, how are we gonna do this? All right. Well, guys, talk to you all later. Bye.